In this video, I'll show you how I use my Chinese diesel heater to heat my pull-behind camper, and also test how well it works in freezing weather. Hello everyone, this is my Chinese diesel heater. This is an all-in-one version. It's all self-contained. There's also a kit version that has all of the separate components that can be mounted separately. I've made several modifications to this heater. I have a few videos out there showing those modifications and some tests I've run on it. I like this all-in-one style diesel heater mainly because of the portability. I use this heater to heat my truck shell camper. I also use it to heat the workshop in my basement. I sometimes camp using a pull-behind camper, and I want to be able to use this when I camp in cold weather using that pull-behind RV type trailer. Now, most of the time these days in cold weather in the winter, I will do truck shell camping as opposed to that little pull-behind camper. But we use that pull-behind camper early spring, late fall, when sometimes the temperatures are down at or just below freezing. So I want to have the option of using this diesel heater when we use that little pull-behind camper in cold weather. There are several videos out there available showing these diesel heaters installed in campers and RVs, but most of them, if not all of them, are the kit versions with all the separate components, and it's more of a permanent type installation, which is good and it's more efficient than this style is going to be for me. I'm going to mount this outside of my camper. One, because I just don't have a lot of room inside my camper. Another reason is I don't want to hear this thing clicking or making noise inside of the camper. And I just want it to be portable, and I want to use it in different places and different applications as opposed to just my pull-behind RV camper. So for me, this is going to work out better mounted outside. If it were mounted inside, the already heated inside air inside the camper would be reheated in the back of this, and it would probably, well, definitely heat a lot more efficient. But I'm hoping it will work good enough sitting outside and say around freezing temperatures. It will be hot enough to heat up that camper. I think the easiest way to do this is to use this window I have on the side of my camper and make a panel to fit in place of this screen window here. This screen pops out. Now if I make a wooden panel to fit here, cut out a hole to fit the ductwork from the heater, I think that will be the easiest way to get the heat from the heater outside underneath the awning of the camper up through this window, through that little panel, into the inside of the camper. I'm going to use this thin piece of plywood that I already have. It says right here that it is 0.197 inches thick, which is pretty thin, but the good thing is it's about the same thickness as this little screen window. So I think this size plywood will fit in that track in the window pretty good. So I'll use the screen window as a template and get this thing cut out. Okay, let's see if it fits. Looks pretty good. Can even close the window. I think that'll work. think I have everything hooked up. All of the duct work is good. I have power hooked up on the back, going straight to the battery on the front of the camper. The exhaust comes out the side. I've got an extension out here, so the exhaust is directed away from the camper. The main thing I'm worried about, I do not want any exhaust going into the back of this unit. That is where the fresh air is pulled in, and that's the air that I breathe. The air that goes in this little tube here is just for the heat chamber. That's all. If exhaust fumes go in that tube, it's not that big of a deal. I don't want exhaust going into the back of the unit. That air is pulled in through that screen, across that heated box, basically, and comes out the other side through the ductwork up into the camper. So I'm going to wait for the temperature to drop a little bit tonight, and we'll give this thing a test. Okay, it's time to give this heater a test. Currently, it is 31 indoors and 27 degrees outdoors. I'm going to fire this heater up, let it run for a while, and see if we can warm it up in here. Well, it's running along about 4.5 hertz, I think. It's not wide open, but it's pretty close. The fuel pump's pretty quiet in this thing. I have upgraded the fuel pump to a quieter version and wrapped it in some sound dampening foam and a couple other things. Not too bad at the moment running at this speed. And sitting outside like this, it's not going to be that noticeable when you're inside the camper. You can actually just can't hear it at all when you're inside this camper, so that's a good thing. I stuck a thermometer in that vent just to check the air temperature. I'm a little surprised after that air comes out of the heater through that uninsulated ductwork. It's still reading over 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty impressive. This is a pretty small camper, but it has been 30 minutes since we turned that heater on, and it is up to 60 degrees inside. It's warmed up a little bit outside. It's morning time now. It's 31 degrees outside, 60 degrees inside. It's been 30 minutes. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes. I have the heater on the lowest setting at this point. It's nice and warm inside this camper. Looks like it's 67.6 inside. It's 32 degrees outside. I'm going to call this test a good one. I'm actually surprised at how well this did. Hopefully you got something out of this video. If so, maybe give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.